right and what was wrong, and they didn't take any prisoners either doing it.
Who was your
Let's just talk about people. Very quickly, I just want to speak about one person. As a 17-year-old coming into that team, and your very first experience of sort of pro sports at that level, was somebody like Warren Ross somebody that showed you the way to do stuff?
Oh my God! Do you know what? I listened to your podcast. I listened to the other one with Wiggy the other night, and you were talking about Wazza. So Wazza was captain when I first signed for the Jets. Oh man, like you come in as a cocky little young kid, young buck. I've been out with Wazza once. I was a young kid, 17, maybe 18 years old, and I was a cocky little rat. And I give it to him one night, and he beat the living piss out of me. And I never ever did it again. And those boys like Wazza and Heafy and Rolls and those lads, they showed you how to be a pro hockey player, how to be a leader, how to sort of pave your way in the game. And you don't get that. I listened to your podcast the other day. You don't get that anymore. It's the way the game's changed. The sort of bringing the guys up has changed. You couldn't get away with doing that now. But
well, let's talk about before at this sort of era. There was no phones, and you brought up Heafy there, and I was having a little chat with Heafy earlier, and he says, I remember him lost in Twickenham one night before phones. All he could do was remember where I lived. 5 a.m, he was asleep on my doorstep. I wasn't even out with him that night. I think the students have put marker pens all over him. What happened there, mate?
Oi, fuck off. That story's been heaved up, mate.
Well,
the Heafy was out with us that night. And for some reason, he had drawn on him a smiley face. We'd gone to the Bix's student union, and he had drawn on him a smiley face, right, on his chest and belly. And I remember head up. God knows, Bix had gone off somewhere. I was lost. I didn't really know where I was. Somehow managed to get back to Heafy's house, and I was banging on his door for God knows, seems like ages. And then I sit down, leaning up against his door, and all of a sudden he opens it. I fall back, and the first person I see is Heafy with his smiley face drawn on his chest. Yeah, I remember that story. But yeah, Heafy's just one of the he's all-time best teammate, like unbelievable guy, and you know what he's like. Just,
I love him. He
played
the charity game last year, and he was still fucking sick. What was he like?
Oh, he's unbelievable hockey player, but what a great guy to have in the room as well, you know. And it's things like that you follow their lead. So you brought up in an era with like Heafy, Riles, those players, and that's how you follow their lead. You learn from them boys, and yeah, that's how you end up with.
Have you got any good Heafy stories for us? Because
do you know what? Funny story.
Beauty. Go on.
So I got a funny story. I was with Heafy. So this is crazy. So start of my career, I was sat in the shower. It was a weird situation. It was only me and Heafy sat in the shower, stood in the shower. And we were at the same spot.
I was going to say, how hungover were you to need a sit-down and shower?
Yeah, he turned around. He said to me once, he's like, "Fordy, mate." He's like, "You're too quiet." He's like, "You're too quiet. He goes, "You got to enjoy your life." He goes, "You got to go out a bit.
Hold
more,
my beer.
Enjoy yourself. Have a laugh. Like, go out, have a few beers. Blah blah blah." And then at the end of his career, it was just weird how, like, the end of his last ever game playing for the Jets, we were just stood in the shower in the same spot, and he turns around to me and he goes, "Remember, Fordy, it was a long time ago. I was sat in there and I told you, like, you got to get out a little bit. You got to live a bit. You got to enjoy yourself." I was like, yeah, I remember that. He goes, "Well, you may have pushed the boat out just a little bit too far."
Just reel it back in.
That's a huge story.
I love the way he enjoyed your stories and the stories that have like come that you were the catalyst of too much to say anything before he was retiring. It's like, well, now I'm leaving the game. Yeah. Maybe wind it in a bit. It was good fun while it lasted, though.
Now I'll give him the heads up.
He didn't completely throw you under the bus. He followed it up with a great player, loved playing hockey on the same team as him. The guy never stopped laughing, funny as they come. So he obviously thinks a lot of you as well. Let's move on to the following couple of seasons. Obviously, the first year, you only played 9 games, you're just getting a little bit part. What about the next 2 or 3 seasons? That's when you started to establish yourself as like a senior hockey player.
Yeah, that was, do you know what? It was hard. Like training and stuff was hard. I remember you bring up Paps being like a tough player. I remember being in the gym with Paps, and he turned around to me once and he was like, "Oh, you know, training, you know why we're so hard on you in training?" I'm like, "Well," he goes, "Well, in a game," he goes, "it'll be easy. When you play in a game, it'll be easy. We play you hard in training, so a game's come easy." And I sat there, I thought to myself, "Oh yeah, no, that's cool, that's good. And then when I thought about it, I thought, hold on a minute, we train 4 times a week. We only play 2 games on the weekends.
Getting a hiding Monday to Friday.
Yeah, I got a licking on Monday to Friday, and then the Saturday, Sunday was a breeze. But no, it's them sort of players like Adam Lamar, Perry Papas, Jason Kendall, Joe Steffen. Those guys were, they played the game hard, they trained hard, and that's sort of pushed us into being the players we are. Like you look at Bix and Moods and those boys that sort of come through that development. Ricky Skeen all went on to be good established players, and that was yourself, Nicky, obviously, and that was sort of why was those boys, they pushed you, and you had to be good, or they weren't gonna let you have it.
How did you?
If you weren't good, you ain't getting an opportunity.
Absolutely not. How did you come across
these days as well?
Oh, Crossy, I love Crossy. Yeah, Crossy's a good lad.
What are you laughing at, Matt?
What about me?
Nothing at all. Nicky Watt and Nick Cross, there's no story there at all.
Oh,
boy, was that a good tilt or what, Nicky, though?
Not for him.
What, the charity game?
Boy,
not for him, it wasn't.
Was it?
Yeah, it was bad for him.
I don't know, he done all right for himself, mate.
He
done all right for
didn't
himself.
even land one. And then he cried in the bar.
Right. Oh, he come in, he was in the box, and I said, I skated over him. I says, I went, "Fucking hell, Crossy, it ain't a tryout. Calm down a bit, mate."
For those 4 years in the BNL, I know you've probably not been renowned for dropping the gloves or whatever, but I was talking to Watty earlier, and I didn't realise this. I think you dropped the mitts with one of my ex-line mates, Chris Connerboy, in the BNL.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, I did.
How did that go?
Tough. He was very tough. Oh, do you know what? It wasn't as bad as it sounds, although in reality, it was horrendous. When you watched it, it looked all right. Yeah,
everyone that was there said you did all right, man.
Oh, we were playing Paisley. Yeah, it was all right. We were playing Paisley, and I remember he was running around a bit, and I turned around to the boys. I said, they were like, "Oh, someone's got to settle Connerboy down," and he smoked me in the middle. And I remember to this day, I was on my knees. And I got up and I said, "Do you want to go?" And he's like, "Yep." And I dropped the gloves and I look at our bench, and every single player's going, "No, no, don't drop them." I'm like, "Fuck, I'm in trouble here." So I'm like, "Oh, it's all right. We're all right. I'm lucky. We're all right." I've got half eyes on. I duck down. I'll slip a few. Takes the helmet off. I thought, well, you've got to take your helmet off. I'm in trouble here. And I remember I grabbed him. I got the perfect tie-up. I remember to this day, I got a great tie-up. I remember seeing Scott Moody at the corner of my eye. I thought, "Oh, I've got him here." And I hit him with 4 of the hardest shots. I might as well have stroked his face. I hit him as hard as I could, and he just looked at me and just whack, the arm come back, and bang, he hit me. I thought he had a sledgehammer in his hand. He hit me so hard. He hit me with 3 bombs. I was done. I'm like, I'm in trouble here. I remember pulling him. I've got him against the boards. I thought if I get him against the plexi, he can't use the reach. Well, yeah, that was a bit better. And what I should have done was probably just tied him up and been done with it. No, I carried on going. And then he just slipped through, and he threw 4 or 5 absolute hammers. And luckily, I got the tie up, and we got off the ice, and it didn't look as bad as it was, but mate, I couldn't put my helmet on for 4 days. It was bad. He was tough, mate. Really tough player.
something we kind of glossed over there. That first year you broke in, the Jets won the BNL, didn't they?
Yeah. I was, yeah.
Was you part of the celebrations or anything, or?
Huh?
Were you part of like the celebrations and stuff? Was you in the team?
No, not really. I was a young lad then, so I didn't really I wasn't right in the thick of things. I wasn't boozing and all that. I was a bit of a hermit then. But yeah,
times change.
I played a few games there. But I played a lot of the challenge games, like the Benson Edges Cup games and stuff like that.
Best of British and all the stuff
against,
like that.
Like my first game, I played against Nottingham Panthers, and I remember it to this day. I'm lined up, and there's Paul Adey, fucking that Corey Ballou, remember him?
Yeah,
he's a defenseman.
I'm friends with him on
Trevor
Facebook.
Robbins
He's always
was in there.
Stuff out.
I remember just thinking, what the hell am I doing here? But no, yeah, it was a baptism of fire that first year, and then straight into it the second one, really.
Let's talk about the league dropping from the BNL and going to the EPL. The early days.
Very, very quickly before we do that, because due to technical difficulties, I do have to shoot off. So I've not been able to be on here as long as I'd like. But let's just jump forwards very quickly to your time in London. Obviously, we all know Richie Hargreaves, and I've played with him and against him for a few years, as I'm sure you have as well. He told me to ask you about what happened with your Christmas party in London when it kicked off with the Aussie football team.
Oh, mate. So this is a story and a half. So I've just signed for London, right? I've just got there. You got to bear in this in mind. Like I've literally just signed up. So he's like, so Roger Black used to ride a moped. So he turns up. He's like, give me your kit, and I'll take it to the rink, and you go to the party. I'm like, all right, no bother. So I literally hand him my kit. He fucks off. Go to the party, and we're in there. I've played a few games, so I know a lot of the boys, and we had a tough team, man. Like Cornish, McIntyre, Jim Vickers. We had a really tough Kanzi. All the boys were in this party, and in the sports cafe in London, they've hired out the whole top section, right? The whole top section's hired out.
I'll tell you, Roger Black knew how to throw a party, that's for sure.
They've got pictures, videos, everything. The whole lot's on the top section. We've got TVs, everyone. They've got fucking photos all over the place. It was nuts. So I'm stood there. So all the boys having a few beers and stuff. No big deal. Like, it's all going nice. All going quite well. Richie Hargreaves was wearing a Santa costume, believe it or not.
Fat Santa.
So all of a sudden, this guy, he was massive, right? This dude was big, 6'4", like jacked. Comes over, smacks Maxie's wife on the arse, right, at the bar.
Oh, fuck.
I'm stood next to that. Exactly. I'm stood next to Maxie's wife, right? I'm like, I'm in trouble. I've got to do something. I've just signed it. Like, I can't let this go. So I give him the shove. I go, here, mate. I said, it's a private party here. And he gives me the clout on the back of the head like that. And my head goes down to the thing. I'm like, oh, man, I'm in trouble here. As I come up, at the corner of my eye, I see Maxie walking across. So Maxie gives him the clout as well, straight on the back of the head. He goes down. As he comes up, I hit him as hard as I can, right? Honestly, it was the cleanest shot I've ever hit anyone. I might as well have just fucking kissed him on the cheek. He turned around and looked at me, and I thought, I'm in trouble here.
There's a theme here with your punches,
This is never going to go well. This is never going to go well. I'm in banging trouble here. As I've done that, Kanzi comes flying across the bar, shirt off, and him and this guy go toe to toe. And it was a decent tilt. Like, it was a good toe-to-toe battle. I'm like, oh, my God. So then all the other boys come filing in from his rugby team. But we had the toughest team in the league then by far. Like, pound for pound, every guy. Like, it was ridiculous. And it was carnage,
savage,
mate.
Straight savage.
Oh, mate, you had Richie Hargreaves sucker punching people in a Santa outfit. Jim Vickers had a leather jacket, slick back hair. He looked like fucking Donnie Brasco running around sucker punching people. It was mental, mate. Everyone comes piling in. The security comes piling in. It all gets fucking. The party gets stopped. Everyone gets booted out. And I remember to this day, you had Pansy pushed down with 4 bouncers on him, right? 4 bouncers on him, and one of the fans is like, "Can you sign my stick?"
Oh,
yeah, no, he said nutty days. Yeah, that was a mad one. That was a mad night.
Who did you you lived with Huey in London? Because obviously we had Huey on the other night. What was it like living with him?
Yeah, he's good. Oh, you know Huey, he's a good guy, awesome guy. Yeah, Huey, living with Huey was a good crack. I lived with Huey, Richie Hargreaves, Mark Thomas, Adam Dobson. So it was a good old crack. JJ McGrath.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we lived about 4 minutes from all you can eat, 24-hour McDonald's and O'Neill's bar.
Oh,
probably the worst place to put us. It was a good laugh.
I've got to ask you, you just touched on the McDonald's thing there. I heard a rumour that you ate McDonald's every day when the Monopoly thing was on because you thought you were going to win a fucking car.
Oh, what's that, from Mizey?
You might have been.
Me and Mizey used to have, so when Mizey used to work, Mizey worked with me and my old man, right? And for some reason, we played the Monopoly game for that 6 months. And we would go in there, order the stuff, and literally throw it away just to get the tickets to try and win the thing. Alas, we never won shit.
While we're talking about Mizey, let's tell the story about his stag do.
The stag do.
Yeah, tell the story about Mizey's stag do because I think the people will enjoy this one.
So what's that there? So I don't know why I did this, right? I really don't, because at the time I was with someone who was she was chill. She was a good woman. She didn't mind going out or anything. And for some reason I said, "Oh yeah, the stag do's only 4 days," when actually it was 6 days. No, I don't know why I said that. So anyway, we get into the stag do. It's good old crack. We get in there. So I have a few beers. Good old crack. Good old time. 4 days comes up. I says, "I'm in trouble here." She thinks it's only going to be 4 days. So I read somewhere that in England it was so hot that the tarmac melted and planes weren't taking off. So I thought, that's a great one. No, I don't know why I did this. I really don't. So I phoned her up. I says, "Yeah, there's been an issue. It's so hot out here. The runway's melted, so there's no planes flying back. So I'm gonna have to stay a couple more days." Yeah, no bother. Like, she didn't care. I don't even know why I said it. But
did she ever find out? Did she ever find out to this day? Does she know the truth to this day?
No, didn't think anything different. But the thing was, she was cool, so I don't know why if I'd said to her I was 6 days, she wouldn't have cared. But when I was younger, I'm in my head, I'm like, "Oh man, I've got to think of something here. I can't go. I've got to say something here." So I don't quite understand why I did it, but it's still a funny story.
Whereabouts did you go? Where'd you go on the stag? Spain.
Gran Canaria.
Was that? I've been asked to ask you about flicking a copper in the nuts. Whereabouts was that?
Oh, that was for Bix's stag do. Was that a greener?
It might have been. I love how you know everyone. Everybody.
Yeah,
you know everybody.
I know the stories. No, that was mental. So we went out to Gran Canaria for Bix's stag, and the first night's always carnage, isn't it? The first night's always the worst. So we go out. We had a few beers. It was messy. Greeners jumping around, dancing on tables, and all sorts of shit. So then we end up going to this bar, and I don't know why I did it, but I smacked the copper in the nuts and said, "Check your bag, sir." and it all went off. It all went off pretty fast.
And you used to do that to everybody.
Oh, I don't know why I did it, mate. I don't know why, but yeah, it went off pretty fast. But
I
good
remember.
story.
I remember you pantsing me at the McDonald's services after a game in Peterborough. Just
Wait, who was it?
standing there with my cock out, ordering my Big Mac and chips. Like,
oh, you talk about that. That stag do, Bix's one. Remember when they used to have a happy hour? So everyone used to go down to the happy hour first day. Happy hour, blah blah blah. Everyone goes down. It was 2-for-1 cocktails. I'm walking back with a tray of 14 fucking cocktails on the tray, and someone done the exact same to me. 14 cocktails. And, well, there's nothing I could do. I had to just style it out and walk straight back to the table, put the tray down, and pull my pants up.
What we did too, Foord, we skirted over your time that you had before London, where you dropped down to the EPL with Slough, and those 3 seasons there, your points went up, your PIMs went up. You obviously had a more prominent role. You were given sort of time in different situations. How different did you see the game, and was it a lot easier playing at that level after starting in the BNL?
Yeah, well, it was way easier. It was just, I don't know. It was in those days. It was a big drop. You went from having say eight or 9 imports on the team to having 3. So the drop was massive, really, from a sort of the game perspective of it, and it was just a lot easier to play. And at that time, you were brought up to learn how to see. That's, I listened to your podcast the other week when you're talking about the development of British hockey.
Yeah.
And I think that the difference is back then you learned how to play the game. Like maybe the skill set wasn't there, but the vision, the hockey smarts, the hockey IQ, you learned every day exactly what you needed to be, where you needed to be, what you needed to do, the best ways of doing stuff. And I don't know if that's taught nowadays. I think the kids I see come up nowadays are unbelievable skill wise, but hockey smarts just doesn't seem to be there. So you go from that B&L playing where you can't make a mistake. You have to be positional wise or system wise. You have to play the system, or you ain't going to play. And you go drop down to a league where it's less imports. It just gives you a bit more time in the park. You still play the systems. It just made it a little bit easier. And I just found it was good. It was good. It was still good hockey, but it was just that little bit. You had a little bit more time in the park to make those decisions, and that even half a second makes a massive difference in this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about the first time that we ever graced the same ice pad together. It was in that early EPL days, 2004, 2005. Wow, did we have a fun team that year? Myself, you, Chinny, Garina, Tatey, Norm, Glocks, Moog, Riles, Tell, Richie Hargreaves for a couple of games. But we've told a couple of funny stories on this pod recently. Do you remember Dusan Haloon?
Oh, mate. Stick handle in the phone booth.
Yeah, definitely. Tell told a really good story about Duncan Howard. Do you remember that with the Solihull announcer?
Yes. Duncan Howard.
I've been also asked, you are the king of nicknames, and we want to know where you came up with the term Womb Raider. And anybody that knows will know.
Oh no, we can't talk about that. The Womb Raider can't be discussed.
So someone just texted me and it was like, throw out a trigger.
Oh, you know, you come up. Oh, someone else come up with that nickname, not me.
Oh, really? Oh, well,
yeah.
You've been given credit for something you didn't do. But yeah, we had a good team that year. It was good fun. Like that, it was do you remember mandatory Mondays where everyone would go into like the Leaf on a Monday, team nights out?
That's how it used to be back in the day. You would always do that. Like I remember we used to have. Remember the Players Association?
Yeah.
You'd have the Players Association meetings.
Yeah, you fucking pricks voted me to be the rep. So cheers, rookie bitch, you're the rep. So fuck. And then I was bitching, and then they go, basically all you do is go meet guys from other teams, eat wings, and get boozed. I was like, yeah, I can do that.
Oh yeah, everyone used to go there.
And then everyone would come anyway. It was a real good laugh. We got some. Go on, sorry.
See, I remember you talking about. I remember listening to the Wiggy pod. You're talking about Hagee and Smithy. And I remember being at those meetings with Hagee, Smithy, Crumps, and it was just carnage, mate. Some of the things that went on then was just absolute carnage. All good stories, though. All good humour.
How did you had them two? Sorry.
Go on, mate. No, I'm just saying, I'm just looking at your stats, mate, and the multiple sort of teams and places you've been over the years. You had like 2 very brief stints in Cardiff. How did they come about? The fact that they were just like 7 games and 2 games.
Yeah. So the first stint in Cardiff. So when I left London, I was sort of umming and ahhing about what I was going to do. So then Cardiff come through, and that's where I live with. I went with Remps to Cardiff. So me and Remps
interviewed that beauty a couple of weeks ago as well.
Yeah. I listened to that one too.
What a guy.
So we had a good crack. So I lived with Remps in Cardiff. And it was a good team. But I don't know. It was a weird situation. And I trained that year in Bracknell, so I knew a lot of the guys in Bracknell. Mizey had just gone there, and Bix was there, and a lot of the boys were there that I sort of grew up playing with. And I left to go to. I sort of orchestrated a move really to Bracknell, and then when I went back there, it was when we had, I think it was David Taylor had got into a bit of difficulty with the team.
Fucking
we had a weekend off. We had a weekend. Well, when I say we had a weekend off, we had a weekend where we obviously didn't play for whatever reason. And I don't know if we went on strike or what, but we had a weekend where we didn't play, and they had offered me to go and play there for a couple of games. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take that up. Went with Rock, so it was all a good crack.
Just let's roll it back just a little bit. Was it when you were in London that you got left in Newcastle?
Oh yeah, yeah. Do you hear that story?
Yeah, go on. Obviously, of course we do.
It's a long one. So we went up to. So we played. I think it was Edinburgh first, right? So we had 3 games. We had Edinburgh first on the Friday night. Then we played Newcastle on the. No, yeah, that was it. Edinburgh on the Saturday, then Newcastle on the Sunday. So we flew to Edinburgh. So we play in Edinburgh. Decent game, blah, 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 whatever. So then we get back to the hotel, and I was with Mark Gouet, he was the captain of the team. Awesome guy, like unbelievable guy. I lived with him my first year in London. So he's like, I'm like, oh, do you want to have a beer? He's like, yeah, let's have a beer. We can have a beer. So we start having a few beers. Anyway, it gets carried away. There's someone there who'd just been made redundant. So they come over and they're like, oh yeah, we got the company credit card. Come and have some shots with us. So all of a sudden we're taking shots, and there was one shot. There were Irish, the people. There was one shot, and you had to do the shot and lift your arm up in the air. I remember there was about 5 or 6 boys there at this point, and we do this shot, lift the arm up. As my arm goes up, I look out the corner of my eye. Maxie walks right into the bar. I'm like, oh no, I'm in trouble here. So he walks in. He's like, you best play well tomorrow. Blah blah blah. All this blah blah. Jason Robinson, who I live with as well. He was the guy that he took Maxie and said, oh look, make sure like if they play well tomorrow, you can't say anything. Blah blah blah. So it's no big deal. So next day comes, I wake up and I feel horrendous. I'm like, I'm in trouble here. Like I'm under the microscope now. I'm in trouble. This is going to be bad. So we get on the ice, whole warm up. I'm like, right, just get through this. Like, get your head in this, get smarts up, blah blah blah. First game, the Kanzi actually took a slap shot from the point, literally hits my stick and goes in. There's no way I can say I scored the goal. He scored it. Oh no, he scored it off my stick. Like I didn't score it. It hit my stick and went in. I'm like, perfect. I've scored a goal. We're all right. 1-0 up. Next period, get the puck, chip it off the glass. Matey goes down, picks it up, goes past his back door goal. So we're 2-0 up. I've got 1+1, right? So I'm like, okay, it ain't too bad. The pressure's off me here. We end up winning the game 3-2. I get 2 points. Moody was watching the game, and he was asked to call man of the match. Gives me man of the match, right? So we get off the ice. We've got 1+1, man of the match, which I didn't like. Moody basically just give it to me because I'm his mate. Didn't play well at all, but just got lucky. So I'm like, oh, perfect. So Maxi's like, oh, that's how you play with guild, blah, 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 all that palaver. So we go out that night. So I'm buzzing now. So now's the night we have a party. So we're having drinks and stuff. So the whole game we're like, fucking whole night out, we're pounding drinks. Fucking, we played a game, like a drinking game. Anyway, end up going back to a house party, me and Jason Robinson. So we are literally like hammer drunk. Ring up dialer booze maybe 4 a.m. Our flight leaves at 9, right? So our flight leaves at 9. The bus goes to the airport 7:30. We're ringing up dialer booze at 4. Robbie's like, yeah, it's no big deal. Like, come with me now. I'm like, no, I'll be all right. I'll be straight behind you. Nah, fall asleep. Wake up in the middle of Newcastle. Wake up in Newcastle at 11 a.m. Right? I'm like, oh my God, I'm in trouble here. I'm like, this is bad. So I'm like, oh man, we are like, this is not good. So I'm ringing the boys. As I'm ringing the boys, they're all on the flights and none of them's picking up the phone. I'm like, fuck, I'm in trouble here. Like, this is bad. So I ring Moods up because I knew he was playing in Slough at the time, but he was in Newcastle for the game. So I ring Moods up. I'm like, Moods, where are you? He's like, Newcastle. I'm like, when are you going back to Slough? He goes, I'm just leaving now. I'm like, mate, can I get a lift with you? He's like, yeah, no bother. Oh, so I jump in so I go straight to Moody's. Get a taxi to Moody's. He takes me back to the hotel. As soon as I walk in, they're like, oh, you're the player. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Jump in Moody's car. We go back to Slough. So I'm shitting my pants. I'm like, oh, I've got to ring Maxi. So I ring Maxi. He's like, well, he goes, in my day, you pay your own way home. That's your fine. I'm like, fucking right. I'm like, I'm all over that. I'm like, when I'm back in London, I'll see you at training tomorrow. Oh, and yeah, that was that story. But the thing was, there was fans on the plane, right? On the plane trip. So they all make T-shirts with like a fucking my hockey gloves and stick on my helmet on my stick, and then all it said was, "Where's Fordy? MIA." ... My old man bought one. He's got one at home somewhere.
I bet he's still got it somewhere. I wanted to ask you. You touched on being in Cardiff there. Tell the story about trying to steal the sticks.
Oh yeah, that was a bad one. Well, see, I don't know if I did try and steal the sticks. I went up there to play the 2 games. So I went up there to play the 2 games, and then me and Rox were coming back, and I'm like, oh fuck, I need these 2 sticks. Like, I need a couple of sticks. I didn't have any sticks in Bracknell. And they'd give me a couple. So all I did was just tape them up between Rockies. And yeah, got caught. Got caught out on that one.
What happened when you got caught?
Oh, nothing. There was nothing. There was no repercussions. They just weren't there when I picked my sticks up.
Yeah. Right,
when the sticks got sent back to Bracknell, they just weren't included in them.
Let's talk about that team in Bracknell, because the first year you went to Bracknell was one of the best rosters that I can ever remember being in the EPL. Mike Ellis, Smithall, Chinny, Yanni Melakar when he was sick, Bixie, Aldi, Maisie, Tomo, Hughesy, Stuart Simmons. Do you remember that fucking dude?
Do you know what? I never played with him. He weren't there when I was there.
Fair.
I remember him though.
But what was it like that year? Because you guys must have had a good time. That was the Finch Hampstead year, right?
Do you know what? What's that?
That was the Finch Hampstead house year, right?
No. That wasn't. That was
that was later on. Sorry.
Yeah, the first year I lived with Aldi in the house next to in Wokenham.
What?
Yeah, that was a good year, man. Like,
was that the year you fucking imacked your body before the playoff finals?
No.
You know
what? That might have been.
Yeah, I think it was that first year. Talk us through that anyway.
Hold on. Right, so hold on. We'll go back to the start. So the start of the year, like we were good, man. We were a good hockey team, and we should have done a lot better than we did. To be fair, we won the cup in Hull, which was awesome. Like, that was a great party, good celebrations, and then we went to, where did we go? We went and we made the playoffs, but we had Steve Briere in net, and Briere hurt himself on doing some washing up or something. We ended up signing that Aruna, God knows what his name is, Aruna Karnas from Solihull. Great goalie. It was decent, really decent goalie. And I remember we ended up going to playoffs. We won the first game. I can't really remember who we played, and we were playing Milton Keynes in the final. So we end up back at the hotel, and of course you're on your own in the hotel. There's fuck all to do. You're sat there. You can't go out and party because you got a final the next day. Everyone's in their rooms. I'm stood there. I'm like, fuck it. I'll fucking throw the imac on, right? So I think, I'll just throw the imac on my legs and I'll try and blend it in, right?
Blend it with imac,
mate. It's what happened. That's what happens when you're on your own, man. You're fucking bored on your own. So I fucking try and blend it in down my legs, right? It looks like I'm wearing a pair of fucking shorts. So I'm like, oh man, that looks bad. I'm like, well, if I do the whole leg, you won't notice it. So I imac the whole leg, right? The whole leg. I'm like, oh my God, it looked horrendous. So I remember ringing Mizey. I'm like, Mizey, wait till you hear what I've done. He's like, don't tell me, show me. Room 472. Oi, mate, I tell you what though, what a feeling. I woke up in the morning.
But we'll tell the people.
Oi, mate,
you're a hairy fucking fella, though.
Rubbing my legs together. I thought I was next to a bird. You put a team tracksuit on. It feels like you're wearing silk pajamas. Telling you, mate.
Giving yourself rubbing your legs together, giving yourself a reach around. Fucking hell.
Oh, mate, it was unbelievable.
I wanted to talk to you. You touched on a little bit there about Mizey coming to work with you. There's some funny stories about people coming to work with you, because let's explain to the people. Basically, Fordy's dad run a company, and Fordy said he worked for his dad. But what used to actually really happen is Fordy had a little back office, and he'd be like, boys, do you want to make like 50, 60 quid cash? Come and work for us for the day. I'd be like, yeah. And he's like, you don't have to do anything. So you basically got paid to go and like hang out and tell stories with Fordy, right? So,
my old man might be watching this.
Mate, your old man worked with you for long enough to know exactly what sort of fucking output you were doing. Hey, mate, we done the work that we needed to do. But I just wanted to ask you, do you remember when Tell dropped the plate on his toe?
Oh, mate, that was bad.
Talk us through that one.
Well, he just dropped the plate on his toe, had to have surgery.
It was fucking those plates, and they get hot, didn't they? And you had to pick them up. But
but
he's coming back to me now.
He dropped a cold one though. It was just bad. It was just bad timing. He dropped on his foot, and it was just really bad. But
I wish I could tell the story when me and you worked together and we stopped off at the Pound and a Pint Glass strippers on the way home. But I think that's far too early on in the evening to be getting into those stories. And probably, how funny was that though? What a story! Oh, mate, I think it was a story after story after story blended into about what turned into 2 days. It was just a good time. We had a lot of those.
Quickly, mate, I just want to say, mate, obviously you can tell the stories that come out and all the boys that have obviously reached out to us and get us to ask. But you look at those years at Bracknell, you took on a more sort of responsible role. You were the alternate for a few years and then captain. Did you see your role change, or were you still bringing the same to the table as you are on a day-to-day basis when you were acting the clown, or were you being more responsible in those roles?
Do you know what? Like, I've always felt from when I was even when I was in Swindon, all the clubs I played for, like in Slough at the early days, I did play the clown. I did have a laugh, and I did enjoy hockey. If you play with me, or if you ever played with me on the ice and in a game situation and in training situation, I felt like I was always a fair leader, and I would always be. Although I'd be a clown and have a laugh and enjoy hockey and enjoy life, I always knew when to switch it on, when it was time to knuckle down, when it was time to work hard.
You're a great teammate in that aspect as well. I thought,
and I think I've never changed the way I've played or the way I've adapted things. Like, even from an early age to when I was sort of now, when I'm too old. I've never changed the way that I am. I always seem the same way. So I will always hold you accountable. I will always try and set the standard to aim for in terms of work ethic and the way I sort of carry myself on the ice. Do you know what I mean, though?
Well, I loved playing on a line with, when I first came to Slough, part of the year was played me with Tell and Twelski, which was a really good line, but a lot of the year he played me on a line in between you and Bixie. So you guys were kind of like my Heafy and Riles, you know, like you were there for the story.
Yeah.
Took me out, you took me under your wing. There's also some funny nights, me, you and Bixie in nightclubs on Wednesdays, but we can't tell those stories on the podcast as well. But like, there was just, it was that
boat racing.
Oh shit! Let's tell the dragon boat. Who sorted that? Was that you? Whoever it was.
What's that?
No, it was Bixie's dad, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's Bixie's dad.
Because we all went out and we went hard, and nobody went to bed. And we had this dragon boat racing the next day, and none of us even knew what a fucking dragon boat was. But basically, we thought we were going on a day session in London, really. But so we get up to the Thames, and it's 8 a.m., right? And none of us have been to bed. People are green, like they're green. And then we get there, and these races are going on. And this boat's about fucking 400 feet long with like loads of random people in it. Oi, mate, but I tell you what.
Oi, mate, we got beat by the. Oi, mate, we got beat by the girl guides in the qualifying.
We won the first race. We
got beat by the girl guides. And then they were getting the ump. They're like, "Oh, what you bought the hockey boys? You thought they were going to be good?" And then we went to the bar, had a few beers, and then smashed everyone and won them the trophy, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Like we got a couple of liveners down there and sorted ourselves out. We were good to go, and then it was a day session.
They were giving it all this time, weren't they, with the trophy? Whee!
Everyone jumping in the water and just it being an absolute gong show. I want to stay with that second year in Bracknell, because that was the Finch Hampstead house year, and there's been a lot of stories, and guys have held a couple back, and people have been like, "Wow, when you have Foordy on, he'll be the best person to tell the story." So talk to us about, like, if there was ever an ultimate team house of stories and friendship and like a bond and team community. I think my brother said that was one of his favourite years of hockey ever. I think Greener also echoed that.
I know the Finch Hampstead house was a good place, mate. It was a good year, to be fair. Like, that was the year when we had, like, Aldi was coach, and we won the league that year. Like, it was nuts. It was a good crack. Like, it was really good crack. We always would make sort of finals and stuff, but the team unity was awesome. Like, with the Finch Hampstead house, I can only think of one story really that stands out the most.
I think I know that story, so let's go.
So we would go out. No, I don't think so. No. So we'd go out all the time and booze it up. And I remember waking up one morning hanging, like, oh my God, I'm in trouble here. I look out the window, and the garden was massive. Jamie, like the garden was huge, mate. Like it was mad, weren't it? Boy,
Yeah.
it was a massive house. So I look out the window and we are literally fence post to fence post with fence panels. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like this is what the hell is like our gardens full of fence panels? Like what the fuck is going on? So then literally Greener rings me up. He's like, Fordy. I'm like, yeah, you're right, mate. He's like, I've got the fence panels for the bonfire. I'm like, what? It's fireworks night. I'm like, all right, cool. We'll have a bonfire and have some fireworks. Mate, this bonfire was the size of the fucking house. It was a fucking 45-foot bonfire. We run out of fence panels at the end. We were firing off. We're firing, mate. Greener's like, oh yeah, we do the fireworks. Like fucking grabbing them in his hand like that and fucking lighting them. They're going up.
Of course he is.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Greener probably had
crack,
like a
though.
big gold chain and a proper sovereign
Oh,
ring on at this
Jan
stage.
Menakar had the pig roast, the hog roast all day.
Love it.
Just turning hog roast all day.
I was actually thinking, is it not the same team house where you climbed through the church window?
Yeah, but Tommy's told that story, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's always funnier when you tell the story, mate, because you've got your just own Matt Foord unique way of telling it, and people forget bits and they don't tell it quite so right. So go for it.
Wait, do you know what though? Tomo told that story, but he said I missed a couple of weeks. I never missed a game. I played on a Saturday with surgical gloves on, and Jock had to tie my skates for me. So Jock had to tie my skates for me, and I thought Coxie that game.
Did you?
With surgical gloves on.
I heard you. I heard when you came out, you looked like fucking Keith Lemon. You had the bandaged hands up, like fucking.
No. It weren't bad. It weren't that bad. So I don't even know why we ended up going in there. Me and Rox ended up going in there. I don't know why we did. We were so drunk, mate. We were so blackout. I don't even know why. But I ended up, my hands, mate, were shot to pieces. I've still got scars now on my hands from where I was shot to pieces. And Rock's like, fuck, mate, I've got to get you to the hospital.
Didn't you
So I get all my hands stitched up. So I end up going to the training on Thursday. I said to Dewey, I'm like, Dwight Parrish was the coach. I'm like, Durox, mate. I said, I don't know if I can play on the weekend. He's like, you're fucking playing. I'm like, all right. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll play. And I remember getting someone to do we played in Slough the Saturday, and I had Jock do my skates up, played the game, it was all right, and then played at home against Romford on the Sunday. I remember to this day, I had blue surgical gloves on. And I went on the goalie, and Coxie gave me the cross check. You know what Coxie's like, he'll go with anyone, right?
He's tough as shit, yeah. So
I'm like, you want to go? And he's like, yep. And I'm like, fuck, why did I ask him? You know when you're like, fuck me, why did I ask him? So I should drop the gloves and I square up, and I've got these surgical gloves on. And he's sort of looking at me like, what the fuck is going on here?
Gonna give him a prostate exam, like, woo.
I just caught him like early. It was a good till. Like I caught him pretty good early doors and cut him, I think, under the eye maybe. It was a pretty good till. I remember I started throwing lefts, and he started throwing lefts, and he can throw lefts, and I can't. And I went, yeah, shit, we'll switch back up here. He's pretty good.
You spoke early on, mate. You spoke early on about when you came in as a youngster and you were held to account, and you had people sort of showing you the way when you were a youngster. When you were at Bracknell there and you were in a leadership role, you had like both the Antonovs coming through, Lewis Turner, Brendan Baird, Paints, Jordan Gregory. What was it like with those young lads coming through, and did you try to let them know how it was coming through to be a senior, or what were they like when they were youngsters?
Do you know what? It's fun. It's funny you say that, because guys like Brendan and Watty, like even Nicky's brother, like Ryan, they sort of knew how it should be from the brothers. So it was easy for a guy to. It was easy for guys like me to say, "Oh, this is the way you got to go. This is the route you got to take." It was an easy way of doing it. But yeah, like, I love that. I love seeing the young guys come up and come through, and like, I don't know, what's your brother say?
Regarding what? Sorry, mate.
Like,
just the
what's your
youngsters
brother
coming up
say
now.
when it comes to like bringing guys through? Like, I felt I helped him come through a little bit, I guess.
Oh, definitely. But then equally, like, people, I've spoke about it on the Biscuit podcast before, and I've spoke about it on our own podcast before. Like, me and my brother, when we played street hockey, like, we talked to William from the Biscuit asked me, like, did you guys used to go at it? Man, like, when we were in the street, we thought like we were going to be fighting when we were fucking 18, 19, 20. We practiced hitting. We used to pull the sofa off of the living room wall and then run from the hallway and try and hip check each other over the back of the fucking sofa. Like, so it's a bit different then. Like, and stupid shit. Like, we practiced in the garden, tip-ins and blocking shots, and obviously I made it, and then he was starting to come through into the elite league. So when he then like went on and played with guys like yourself, but a bit later on, I had that experience of playing with you. So I can turn around and say, look,
easy transition.
Fucking listen to the boys. They'll make sure you have fun. Don't worry about having fun. You're gonna have a fucking great time. But listen to the guys, listen to Bixie, listen to Fordy, listen to Greener, listen to Moods, listen to Waldy, listen to Ellie. Listen to these fucking veterans. You talked about Dwight Parrish there. What a role model. Like, the guy worked his socks off. Obviously,
awesome.
Ryan didn't pick up on any of that work ethic. Okay, I did one of them stupid Facebook things where you...
Hey, do you know what? You say that? I disagree with that, though, man. See, I think
change my mind. Go
on. Hey, mate, I think Rydogger works hard, mate.
Oh, he works hard
he made him work hard all the time, but he works hard, man.
Oh no, when he's on the ice, he works hard. But I just mean, like, could you imagine if that kid went to the fucking gym and like didn't eat like 3 rolls and slice and a litre of iron brew for breakfast? Like, how good he could be. Imagine if he had like good nutrition and actually cared. It would be nuts, because I filled in one of those questionnaires earlier, and it was like your best player, your toughest player, you're this and you're that, and it came down to like the most talented. And I wasn't just pumping Ryan's tires. Ryan is, without a doubt, one of the most talented players I've ever played with, and I bet you can echo that, because when he was a kid in Bracknell, he was fucking sick.
Unbelievable, yeah, really good player.
I even saw him in a summer skate, mate. I saw him in a summer skate, and he turned up with Jeffy, and he'd been on the can all day. It was when Greener used to run those, the camps in the summer for the boys to skate. And he come up, mate, and he was half cut, and he was dangling between his legs and fucking pulling moves on people. And I thought, if this was somebody that just applied themselves totally to hockey, he could rip it up. But he is who he is.
Mate, natural skill, he's unbelievable. Unbelievable natural skill.
Another player that obviously we've touched on, you've touched on. I want to know the story of the night before your teammate Danny Meyer's wedding with the moped.
Oh, mate, you... Oh, mate, am I really telling this story?
If you want.
Right, so the night before Mizey's wedding, right? So we have a few beers. So then we end up going out. So I'm supposed to be staying at Bix's house. Half the group peel off, half the group go out, right? So we end up at a gentleman's establishment, should we say?
Oh, Fordy loves the strippers. Fordy loves the strippers.
So there's a foreign lady who's talking to me, and obviously it's stripper. I says to her, look, we're not going there. Like, you're wasting your time, blah blah blah. She says, no, I stay with you. I says, all right, whatever. So then it gets to the end of the night. We're all absolutely shit canned. So she says, you want to come home with me? I says, all right, let's do it. So I'm outside. I'm like, I'm looking around for this bird. She goes, "I meet you outside." I say, "Yeah." And no big deal. Yeah, I'll meet you outside. So I'm looking for this bird. I'm looking for. I'm looking around. Geezer stands up in front of me, right? Full leather gear, helmet on, fucking the visor down. I'm like, "Yeah, mate, mind out of the way. I'm trying to find this bird here." Flicks the lid up. It's me. I got the moped. You got to follow me. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, all right, I'm following her. Jump in the taxi. It's like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, mate. I'm like, got the arm out the window, like, follow the moped. The thing must have been chipped, mate. She fucking rips it. She's gone. Fucking lightning. This thing's fucking like just shot. Oof, gone. I'm like, fucking, I'm like, follow her. Anyway, so that all goes on. So I'm like, right, Mizy's wedding's at 2 p.m. So I'm supposed to be standing at Bix's. I get up in the morning. I'm like, I've got to get there. So I leave her house. I have no idea where I am. I start walking, right? Got no fucking idea, right? No idea at all. So I'm walking along. I'm looking around. I'm fucking, where am I going? Where am I going? So as we're walking, I've got, for some reason, I've lost my phone. Got no phone on me. I was a young kid, young lad, bear in mind. So I've got no phone on me. I've got no fucking bank cards or anything out of me. I've got about £4 in change. No wallet, no phone. I'm like, I'm in trouble here. I'm like, I've got to find Bix. I've got to get to Bix. So I start walking. It's about 7 in the morning. I am walking so fucking far. I end up doing a lap of a fucking golf course, right? I walk past one side of it and then end up doing a lap and a loop, walking past the other side going, I've made a mistake here. I'm like, just get me somewhere. Get me somewhere. I end up fucking seeing a sign for Wokenham. I'm like, I'm following it. As I'm walking down this back road, I end up seeing this like it was, I don't know, it was a fucking like a people centre or whatever, right? So I'm like, oh, they've got to have a payphone. So I wheel in. This was years ago, so there was payphones and stuff like that. So I wheel in. I walk straight in the back way. They're fucking playing bingo. 65, 67. I'm like, walk in. Everyone turns around. I'm like, oh man, I'm in trouble here. I'm like, oh, just want to use the payphone. So I ring up Bix. I'm like, mate, I'll meet you in Wokenham. He's like, yeah, no bother. I'll bring your suit. So I finally find a sign, 6 miles to Wokenham. I've been walking about 6 hours, 7 hours at this point, right? I'm sweating, mate. I'm in the clothes I wore the night before. I'm in trouble. So I get to Wokenham. Bixie wheels up. I'm like, I've got to have a shower. So I grab a couple of bottles of Evian water, right? So I throw the Evian water. I have
the old gypsy shower. The gypsy shower.
Mate, I have a gypsy shower. I have a gypsy shower on the road, right? Dry myself with my going out clothes. Throw the suit on, right? So we're going to be on time for the wedding. We're all right. We're not too bad off. So anyway, we get to the wedding. We can't find the place, right? We can't find the venue anywhere. I'm like, fuck me. So I'm on the phone to Mize. I'm like, mate, we're in trouble here. Like, I can't find the venue. He's like, dude, you got to get here. You got to get here. Anyway, I finally find the venue. I walk in and he's like, Joe's had to do another lap. So Mize's wife has had to do another lap in the car because I'm late. Right?
Fuck's sake.
So I'm like, oh, this is bad. I'm like, this is bad news. So I walk in. So I'm like, oh, it's all right. I'll just sneak in the back. No one will even know. I'll sneak in the back. Everything will be cool. No. This venue, you've got to go in the front. So I'm in trouble here, right? So I take one step in. I look to my left. I see Mizey and Green, and that's the Wellham. I'm like, all right, boys. They're laughing. They're pissing themselves. I look to the left. I see Moisey's mum and dad, Joanna's mum and dad. They are giving me the evil look, like I'm in trouble here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this is bad. Then I take one more step, and all the boys see me. This is probably 60% of the congregation. Way! Because they all heard the story.
Oh, Foord.
So I'm like, oh, so that was that story, yeah. Bad times, really, but
This is a sort of shit though. Like when we're compiling this, I've only known stuff like this to happen to you.
I don't know. It's still a
good
story, isn't it?
Do you know we were throwing out you and nicknames when we said the Room Raider? What about Johnny Shoestring Catch?
Oh, that was a great one. Wait, mate, do you know what? I wasn't actually there for that one.
Go on, tell it anyway.
So Charlie Cologne. I don't know if anyone knows Charlie Cologne.
I know Chuck, yeah.
Goalie for the coach in Basingstoke Bison. He was my first ever coach, right? So he would say how he knows. You know what he's like. I think the boys used to have Chuckisms for him.
Greener said he had a little book of Chuckisms.
And he would always say, put the puck in the split. That was his go-to. Lucamade. What's the matter? Lucamade machine fuck? That one.
The Lucamade machine.
So, yeah, so he would... Oi, mate, could you ever remember the player? We signed a player called Ulrich Larsson. Can you remember him?
Yeah.
So he was a Norwegian player, right? So he signed for us mid-season. He was a banker, Norwegian banker, but he was a good player, Ulrich Larsson. So Chucky brings him into the room. And he goes, "Hey guys, I want you to meet this guy, Boldrik Johansson. Boldrik Johansson. He's Danish." He goes, "Everyone, this is Boldrik. He's Danish." Walks out. Obviously, Ulrich's like, "Yeah, actually, guys, my name's Ulrich. I'm Norwegian." But that's Chuck for you, right? So the boys are like, "Oh, who was the third baseman for the New York Mets?" So Chuck's there. He's playing a role. I got that guy. I know who that guy is. I got that guy. Yeah, the boys are like, "Oh, fuck, who was that guy? Who was his name? What was his name? What was his name?" And then Heafy would be like, "Fuck, Johnny Shoestring Catch." He's like, "Fucking, that's the guy, Johnny Shoestring Catch." He made it up. It wasn't even the geezer's name. But he went with it, and that was Chucky, mate. Chucky would go with it, and that was how he was.
Let's go on, Matt.
I was just going to say, mate, we dial it back from the EPL days and everything, and you've said, you and Watty have both said how much did it helped maybe develop the players, having those 4 or 5 imports. When the Bs, when the EPL, when everything sort of folded and you had to drop down to what was the newly formed sort of NIHL 1, how much of a difference did you see in the hockey and the whole sort of lifestyle when you started playing at that level?
Yeah, that was pretty big. That was a big change, to be fair. It was crazy. It just seemed a lot slower. Every time you step down and you lower the imports and the level drops, it just seems a lot slower. But it catches up with you because you end up dropping.
No, that's age, mate. No, that's age, bud. You're just getting fucking older and older and older. Yeah,
I know that, mate. I'm the same fucking age, mate. I know.
I wanted to.
Mate, not Sean.
I wanted to stick in the EPL. We kind of switched clubs. I was with Bracknell for 2 years, whilst you was in Swindon. I was in Swindon whilst you was in Bracknell. We then switched years. I think we might have actually worked together the week before. It was shortly after New Year. It might have even been New Year's Day. We'd just been on the phone together. I'm running around chasing Jason fucking Castles. Talk us through you coming over and being like, "What are you?"
No, you weren't. No, you. I
Night
think
out
at the
or
time,
Cass? Was it Niter or Cass? It was both of them or one of them.
No, didn't you try and fight? You were trying to fight Bully.
But
Bully
well,
was
I tried to fight Cass, and he wouldn't fight me. And then the ref kicked him out the draw, so I did something to get kicked out the draw. So
No. I'll
tell you what
I'll tell you what it was. No, hold on. So we played. So that time we had a short bench, right? So I'd been on for a minute and a half, 2 minutes maybe, and I got off the ice, and you skated past our bench. You skated past our bench and turned around to Bully and went, "Bully, we're going now. I'm going to beat Cass up." And Bully was a kid. Bully was young. Remember this?
Yeah, I remember how tough that cunt is, though.
But Bully was a kid at the time. He was a youngster.
I just played with him for a year.
But you were like, "Bully, we're going. I'm going to beat the fuck out of Cass." And Bully went, "Nah." And believe it or not, there was Steve Nell was the coach.
Ned sent you, yeah.
Yeah. So Ned went, "Fordy, go and fight Watty." I went, "Fuck me, man. I've only been on the ice for a minute and a half." So I get on the ice. So I skate over. I'm like, "Oh, if I can get a breather here." So I line up next to you. I line up the other side, and you were giving it to Cass then. So I go, "Cass, come over here, we'll swap." So me and Cass swapped, and you went, "I'm fighting him," and I went, "No, you're not." And then you swapped with Cass, didn't you? Then.
Well, I swapped. I got kicked out the draw. I got kicked out the draw so that I could go stand next to him.
Again, didn't I?
Yeah, but we didn't actually go off the draw. We didn't go off the draw, did we?
So I swapped again. Going, "What? You're not going to fight Cass. You're going to fight me." Thinking, no, he ain't going to fight me. He ain't going to fight me. And then sure enough, puck dropped. You dropped the gloves. So I'm like, okay, here we go then. I've got to give myself a breather here. So I dropped the gloves. We start off in your offensive zone and ended up in my defensive zone. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We went literally the whole length of the ice, shadowing. Good scrap, though.
Really good scrap. I was fucking so surprised because I thought I was going to be all right. And then, I remember you started really well, and I was trying to get my left free.
Yeah, I started good.
My favourite part of this whole fight, obviously, we did our thing, we fall down, the game's done. I remember you walking over the little, if anyone that knows Bracknell Ice Rink, I'm stood outside the home locker room. I'm probably smoking a Benson at this point because it was a fucking EPL. And Fordy comes over and he goes, "Yeah, so I ring you up, say Happy New Year, and you switch to fucking lefts. What's that all about?"
Wait, do you know what's funny as well? Wait, do you know what? The amount of people I said, I went, "Do you know, at the time, I didn't realise you threw lefts."
We played on the same line for a year. Love it.
I would have fought that fight way differently if I'd known you threw lefts. I'd have fought that differently. So I'm pleased that I didn't know because it worked out all right.
Yeah. But sticking with that sort of generation and that sort of time, Mac touched on it there. I thought that was kind of about the best sort of hockey that EPL was round about those years, the 5 and 6 imports. You're now in what I believe is it 2 imports and Hornets?
Yeah.
Yeah, innit?
Do you find the standard just so different?
Do you know what? It is different, but then it's a different challenge for me because now I think for me, I'm never going to recreate the stuff that I've done in terms of hockey, like the players I played with, the things I've won. It ain't going to happen anymore. I'm too old for that. But having this time now to bring up the juniors and the younger players is good, man. And I agree with what you're saying. I remember seeing the podcast that you were talking about younger players and how it's different. But I think that can change. I think we can get guys up into the Hornets and these sort of EIHA 1 teams and develop those guys to play in the higher tiers of hockey. Whereas, and that's for me is quite a good challenge. I quite enjoy that sort of part of it, is bringing young guys on and seeing guys develop and seeing how guys can play. I know it's so different, and I know that it's a different way of developing players. But I think it's just sort of at that time you got to roll with the punches and sort of go with what works. You know what I mean?
You've got a good foundation, though, mate. You've got obviously Saunders there, who's got his background and is involved with the England coaching, and he wants to bring the juniors through. And Bracknell have always had a sort of wealth of junior development talent coming through.
It's like a feeder,
like you
because
say,
you've got the Wasps,
it is,
the
it's
Hornets,
massive.
the Bees, and then juniors, Wasps, Hornets, Bees, and good coaching throughout. It makes a huge difference.
It's going to take some time, I think.
Well,
but you and Saunders, do you think that's something, that's what you are set up for? It's just making that natural progression, pushing them through and trying to get them to play as high a level as possible.
Well, I think you look at the players last year that developed from our team up to from the Hornets up to the Bees. You look at the players that they took: Josh Martin, Luke Jackson. All these players, Milts went up there the year before. Steady went up before. But all these players that are making that progression, and we've got younger guys now, Casey Wilson, guys like that. They're making that progression as well. And I think that's what we're all about. We're trying to bridge that gap between playing in the league, the EIHL1, to going up to the Bees and playing for the Bees. And that gap where the Hornets to the Bees was massive. And now I think we've gradually made that a little bit smaller. Yeah. And I think we can make that even smaller. And the funny thing, you bring up some, Mark Saunders, like, it's weird because the way we work together, and I didn't realise this until the start of this year, we see the game the same. We see things the same way. And I think that's massive in the development of players, is to see the game the same way, and to use that to progress the young kids is massive. Really, really.
Saunders is a beauty as well, an absolute beauty.
Guys, we have a special guest joining us right now as we speak.
Oh no, here we go.
Get some headphones, you. Get some headphones,
you, my brother.
Right.
What's up, Brian?
Get some.
Is that
get
a little
headphones.
fucking...
Ryan, get some headphones.
The jumping.
Yeah, I thought we would tee up a little surprise for you. Yeah, come back. Just hang up and then just rejoin. I thought we'd get a little surprise for the Fordy on the on. Ryan, hang up, you fucking idiot.
Ryan,
That's not right. Megan's giving him shit.
Megan,
guys. Mate, you should have preempted this beforehand. Tested this out.
You can't test anything with Ryan, mate.
While we're waiting for that fucking donkey to get some headphones, let's talk about your time in Swindon. You were there for a couple of years. You got to play with some great characters, guys that I played with. How was playing with Jonas Hoog?
Oh, awesome, mate. You know what he's like.
Good. He's very good.
Unbelievable guy. The most skilled hockey player I think I've ever played with. Like, natural skill, he was unbelievable. But, like, what a character as well. Do you know what I mean?
I remember, like, you know, Morsey was a great guy, great player, great teammate, never the best passer. I remember Morsey would be, like, snapping pucks, waist height, 3 feet behind Hoogie, and he would take it and end up on a breakaway. I'd never seen anything like it.
Oh, mate,
he would take it from behind him. Guys, actually, yeah, you can see. Hey, we can actually do hand actions on this one because we're on a live.
You've been sat fucking flexing the whole podcast, so you know that there's a camera involved. Oh, yeah, stretching and flexing. Oh shit, here we go. This is what I need to put up with all day. Nobody sees this, but he does it the whole time. We need to sit and fucking look at him.
Mixing a workout, bud.
Just giving it the big
I sent you a program. It's not my fault the fucking gym shut down and you can't go and fucking do the program. But
that's my excuse.
Hey, mate, that's literally the best excuse I've ever heard because the gyms are shut. Hi, Megan. He's back. Like, sorry, guys.
He's died away again. He's on mute again.
Yeah. So sticking with that team. How was playing with James Knight? Because he's a funny character. Any good Knight stories?
Do you know what? Do you know what? That year was weird because it was a weird year in my life where I just bought a new house. I just had a kid. So it was all a bit, I didn't really go party and all that palaver. It was a quiet year. But like obviously Nita and Hoogie were awesome.
Was it frustrating for you then? Because I remember you buying your house down in Swindon, you bought a nice place and you're doing that part of it. And then the very next season, before you know it, you're back in Bracknell. You're now having to travel again. And you're traveling for work. At this point, you're driving from fucking Swindon to London. I don't know how you did that every day. But talk that and then joining in with, the bees training and travel and everything as well.
Do you know what? It was hard, but I wanted to be back in Bracknell, so it was easy, if that makes any sense. It was hard to do physically, but mentally I was quite happy to do it because I wanted to play back in Bracknell. I know I listened to your pod and I know how you feel about playing for Coxey, but I quite enjoyed playing for Coxey when I was in Bracknell, and that all worked quite well for me, so I was quite happy to do it.
Mate, it's never been anything personal with Coxey. As a guy,
I think
he's a lovely geezer, and he was perfectly set with where he was within his Hornets coaching at that level, with those players, with that caliber of player at that precise time. When he stepped up, for me, he simply wasn't ready, and he had jobs for the boys.
See, maybe for me, it was different because Smits was more involved in that situation then.
But not only that, he had experience by then. You got to remember when he first came up.
Yeah. True, very true.
He had no experience, and we're joined by
not get earphones.
Yeah, but
still not get fucking earphones.
I know, you can't find any, so it should be all right. I've told him to go somewhere quiet, so I imagine that's Megan's not sat there.
Somewhere away from Megan, yeah.
Fuck.
What's going on with the Barnet?
I'm growing her out, bruh.
Oh, I love you, Whitey.
So keeping with your hockey career quickly before we start delving down to some more stories. Can you explain how good Smith and Massa were that year when they were together?
Oh mate, awesome, unbelievable players. Smits, you know what Smits is like. Smits could score from anywhere. He had such a good shot, and then Mass was just like I played in the line with Massa and Lamey. What a good guy! Like I love Mass. Like I sat next to him in the room. We played on the same line together. Like what a player he was.
How big were his fucking legs? How big were his quads?
But hold on, how hot did they used to get? Remember, he used to sit there and cool his legs down. You remember that, Watty?
I never played with him, but I heard he used to do this. What I said he used to do this to cool his hands down.
Yeah, he used to do.
Hey, it must have worked. Yeah, maybe I should have tried that.
Legs down.
Between periods. Oh, too hot.
You used to stand in front of the blowers to cool his legs down in between periods.
Another player from that roster that I wanted to touch on, he's teed us up a couple of these stories, so it's only fair that you get your rebuttal. Any good Tomo stories?
Oh, do you know what, Tomo? I love Tomo. Like I lived with Tomo for such a long time, and I played with him for so long. Playing the same line with him for so long. Like he was a great guy. And I'm guessing he's teed up some fucking corkers, but yeah, we'll see. Let's see what stories you got from him.
I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
We'll see what ones I can answer.
To be fair, the boys have been good. The boys have been good. They've someone I can't remember who it was.
Oh, you know why they've been good, boy? Do you know why the boys have been good? Because they're involved in fucking half of them.
How many of the stories is Bixie involved in? Because I imagine
let's not talk about Bixie.
Oh, Bill came. Woo, woo, woo.
Let's just cut Bixie out of this whole pod.
Yeah, let's leave Bixie alone. We love him. what's next? Obviously, what was it like getting to wear the C for Bracknell and actually be captain? And
Do you know what? It was something that I sort of wanted to happen, but didn't think ever would. And I've always felt like that was sort of where I was at. Like I always felt like a leader. I always felt like I could take that responsibility on. And then when I finally got the opportunity, it was pretty easy to take on. And I always felt like I'd been playing for that moment and planning for that moment. So it was pretty easy, but it was obviously a great honour, and it's always an honour to wear the C for anyone, or even wear an A for anyone. But yeah, in that situation, it was pretty cool, and I felt like it was something I was ready for. Does that make sense?
yeah, definitely. Let's go back to a funny one instead. I've been asked to ask you, because apparently this is one of the funniest stories they've ever heard. What happened when you had to spend the day in jail and then have to go to court for driving illegally? What happened there?
No, don't talk about that one.
No,
Let's gloss over that one.
Gloss over
if anyone
that one.
wants to hear that story, they're more than welcome to ask me, and I'll tell them. But let's just swerve that one, mate.
Okay, well, we'll go for this one instead then. One time you had to go to Wales to do a survey for work, and you had no idea what you were doing, forgot the work boots, and had to put on a pair that were 2 sizes too small, and put WD-40.
No. We didn't forget the work boots, right? So we had to work for a company called Foord, right? So we go up to Wales. So this is like the back end of the building site. So I turn up in a van to my old man. My old man at the time was like, "Nah, don't worry about it. No one's even going to ask you about boots." He's like, "Throw these in the van. If they ask you, we'll be all right." So I'm like, all right, sorted. We're sweet. So I jump in the van. I've got a size 6 pair of boots. They're fucking tiny, right? So I jump in the van, drive up to Lafarge. We're right in the back of nowhere. Like, no one could even go there. Like, no one's even there. So we're right on our own. So no one's going to sort of question me or anything like that. So I get there. They go, "Yep, come in, drive in, blah, blah, blah. No big deal." Right, by the way, you've got to put your PPE on and then come in for the exam, like for the little safety video. So I'm like, "Fuck me, I'm in trouble here." So I've got no PPE. I've got trainers on. I'm in trouble here. I have been in a lot of trouble. So I'm like, I'll throw the PPE on. I'll throw the boots on. We'll get them on. So this is Moisey as well. Moisey was with me, the little bugger. So Moisey's like, "Oh, how are you going to get the boots on?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it. We'll get some WD-40 on." So I've literally WD-40 the boots up. Got them on the feet. Got them on the foot somehow. 2 sizes too small. Got them on. Got into the thing. And then done the safety video, and then as soon as we got down, they were coming off. But fuck me, it was a good old crack. But we got through it in the end, so it was all right.
Love it.
Richie Hargreaves has asked me to ask you about the story when your equipment guy never turned up to sort your kit out. I don't know the backstory of this.
What's that?
Richie Hargreaves, he's asked me to ask you about the story when your equipment guy never turned up to sort your kit out.
No idea. No idea what that story would be about. You have to ask him to elaborate.
Yeah.
Can we Foord?
Yes.
What about playing petrol roulette on the way to work? And leaving your Hugo Boss watch as payment at the garage, and then never going back to pick it up, and never went back.
And then never going back to picking it up.
Traded a tank of petrol for a Hugo Boss watch.
I traded. That is true. I
know
traded,
it's true.
I traded a tank of petrol for a brand new £400 Hugo Boss watch.
just never
Do you know what the worst
bothered
thing
going
was,
back to get
though?
it.
Oi, the worst thing was, I would have, like, at the time, I had a fake Rolex in the car, and for some reason, I had the brand new Hugo Boss watch. I went in, I went, fuck me, I'm in trouble here. I'll go back and pay it.
I'm literally
I fucking
renaming
forgot.
this live feed to "fuck me, I'm in trouble here." I'm gonna do that right now.
Mate, I forgot about it, and I'm like, oh, fuck it.
You meet me in Bratton.
It's all right, mate.
8
We're
o'clock
all
in the
good
morning.
now.
Go, right, we've got 28 miles to get to Hemel Hempstead. Let's go.
Just
Hope for the best.
No, I'm all right now, mate. We're all good. Happy days.
let's move on. There was a. Do you remember a Guildford guy named Piggy who opened a bar in Slough?
Are you talking about the strippers?
I'm just asking you, Fordy. I'm asking you. Well, mate, any good Matt Fordy story involves the strippers. I don't really.
Mate.
Go on then, Fordy. Come on, tell some stories. This is why you're here.
Wait, we can't. He owned the strippers, but yeah. What do you want to say? I own the strippers. He would give me the key. Give me the key to lock up and have a lock in. And there was many a story that I can't say that happened in that situation.
Oh mate, it's too good. This has been one of the funniest interviews so far. Let's keep it going. Is there anything that you can think of right now that we haven't touched on that springs to mind, and any kind of stories that you had in mind that you wanted to get out there? Because I know when you're coming on here, you've got a few in the bank teed up ready.
I've got a few in the bank. I'm trying to think.
People haven't thrown you under the bus, mate, but there must be stories about people that have set you up that you could tell us about.
I'm just looking at what I've got here. So can you remember, Watty, can you remember when we shaved your head?
Who? Him?
Why is he silent?
Sorry, I was on mute there. I was on mute. I was saying, yeah, we've briefly told this story on the podcast before, but obviously what we spoke about off air before we carry on, we'll leave that bit out and we'll tell the rest of the story.
Oh no, well, obviously, of course. So what he fucking passes out, right? So we're playing in Bracknell, in Slough.
Wait there. Let's tee it up. No, we were playing in Slough, and before passing out, we basically about a month before, this photo shoot agent person came into the room. I take it because we were
that was your eyebrows, weren't it?
Closest team to London, and they do this photo shoot. And the contract was for £3,746, and it was for a one-day photo shoot for McDonald's. And they came in, they did it all, and they gave it to Chinny. And then for some unknown reason, they gashed Chinny and gave it to me. And the very next day was my photo shoot, and we decided this would be the perfect time to have the maddest team night out of the season. And I'll let Fordy go from there. So there's a backstory.
No. That was the time when we shaved your eyebrows.
How many times you can't shave my hair off?
Your eyebrows and hair at the same time, though.
I thought it. No,
so that night we've done your eyebrows, right? The next day was bad. The next day was bad. Like what? He's like, "Fuck me, you wankers," blah blah blah. So he's giving it this one, "You fuckers," blah blah blah. So about, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks later, same thing happens. We have a party, big night out. So he passes out, falls asleep, he's done so. So boys are like, "Do you reckon we could shave his head?" So we fucking shave his head, so he's like a monk. You know, like literally a fucking tiny little bit of.
No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. You never got me. Never got me that bad. I just had.
Oh, that was you, mate.
No, me. I had.
Mate, you asked Bix.
I never had the monk.
I remember.
I never had the, either way, like yeah, you fuckers.
So you walked in the room. She walked in the room, and I remember to this day. You walked in. Me and Bix are sat in his.
Wait there. No, but yeah, kind of, and I kind of remember the backstory of this.
Yeah.
Again, so we can't tell the backstory.
But sat in his bedroom. So me and Bix are sat in his bedroom, and you walk in. You remember now?
Yeah.
And he walks in and he looks at us and he went, "You fuckers, have you shaved me eyebrows?" And he looks in the mirror like this. He looks at us and he goes, "Oh,
I fucking remember this perfectly now."
And literally stops dead and looks back and goes, "You fuckers, you shaved my head." You remember that?
I do, mate. I do. Oh, mate. Obviously, for a little bit of like backstory there, basically. Bixie's missus is like a superstar accountant on the movies and stuff, which means she have to work away, which meant that you could go around your mate's house and just get in one and you never got in trouble. So like we could have like 2 or 3 days of doing like fun parties and just going out and having a good time. And yeah, it's all flooding back to me now, you fucking piece of shit. So the night of the eyebrows then. Let's tell the night of the eyebrows then, because that was fine.
Oh mate, I can't remember that night though.
Shock.
Oh, weird.
Weird, yeah, really weird that you don't remember that night. Do you?
I can't remember that night.
We told the story. We told the story on the podcast before. We didn't put any names in there. It was the night that people just kept dropping off like flies, and one guy would pass out and someone would wake up, and then the next guy would pass out and someone would wake up, and obviously drinking, and the more someone drank, the more they fell asleep. And everybody, I think I was one of the first to go. I lost an eyebrow. The next guy got his bell end coloured in with a permanent, with a permanent marker. Honestly, oh mate, that was the funniest looking penis I've ever seen. Oh, there we go. Now that we're talking about penises, let's talk about let's talk about the 2 biggest ropes that on any guys that you've ever played with. We like a who's the longest in the shower question.
Well, you know that anyway. It's going to be Hog.
Rocky and Hog.
Rocky and Hog. Absolutely.
Rocky and Hog.
If just for comparison, if you don't know what we're talking about.
Maybe in there. Wait, what about? It's funny. I'll tell you a funny story about when I was in. I've got a story about when I was in Invicta, right?
Yeah.
So in Invicta we had one goalie. Didn't even remember that we had the one goalie. Were you playing Watty when we played this Streatham, or were you in Bracknell then? I think you were in Bracknell. So we played Streatham. We got one goalie, right? So. We and the goalie was
Harry went in, right?
So it was Connor. So you know, it was Connor Morris.
Yeah.
So he was like kicking off. I think he had a row with Kev anyway before the game or after the game or whatever. Anyway, he gets kicked out the game, right? So we had no one to go in goal. So Harrison Lillis, your mate, Watty.
He's your fucking mate.
So he jumps in net, right? So Harrison Lillis jumps in net. So at the time I was playing on a line with Lillis and Brandon Miles. So Lillis jumps in
Brando,
net, right?
Another former podcast guest.
Brando's got a 10-minute misconduct penalty. Kev Parrish is losing his shit on the bench. Like anything that could go wrong is going wrong, right? We got a fucking defender in goal. We got 2 guys serving 10-minute misconduct penalties. So I'm lining up on the bench. I get to the end of the bench. I'm like, who's up next? So he turns around to me. He's like, you're fucking line 40. I went, all right, mate. That's great. I said, my right winger is serving 10-minute misconduct penalty and my left winger is in goal.
And it's at that moment, and it was at that moment you knew you had made it as a British ice hockey professional.
Up, and I just go, "You got to take it for what it is at this point, boys."
Obviously, Mac has some strong opinions on Invicta and Parish and people like that. How did you find being there? How did you find playing for Parish? And yeah, talk to us about why the fuck you went to Invicta.
No, do you know what? I fucking loved it there. I really enjoyed it. I had such a good crack. The fans are awesome, right? The fans are good. And in all fairness, I had a right laugh. Like, I had a really good crack. It wasn't the best hockey I've ever played. Don't get me wrong.
Is that because you was carrying a piano or not?
No, he's had that his whole career. He's always had that.
But you got guys like Gibber and stuff, like Anthony Leone, what a guy he is. You know what I mean? Like guys like that, Strawson.
Leone's a funny bastard, by the way.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like awesome guys, like awesome characters. So I enjoyed my time there. I wouldn't say it was the most constructive hockey I've ever played, but in terms of enjoying myself, fuck, it was fun. Like we got beat every week, but it was fun.
How was it playing with a young, horny, spunky Brandon Miles who just wants to rip the fucking arms off of people?
Oh mate, I loved it. I heard this story telling you about the fucking where we went to 888.
Yeah, he didn't fucking
good story, mate.
Say that again, sorry, Mac. We can't hear you.
Right, I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, you're just welcome to the podcast. Just hang out. Come and go as you please. It's fucking fine. Don't worry.
You just looked like you'd fucking just got out of bed and then shut her down.
Yeah. So, what story was you on about Brando, Mac? I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
No, I don't know. He said something about going to a festival with Foord, didn't he?
Yeah, no, it was a club, like 888. It was good crack.
Was it old Fordy that I know? Did he come out for a party?
Oh mate, it was fucking Ministry of Sound Fordy came out for that.
Ministry of Sound Fordy came out. So yeah. I could only. What day was this?
I don't know. It wasn't that long ago.
No, was it like a Saturday night?
Yeah.
Were you still throwing shapes on a Tuesday?
Oh, I was on it, mate. We were having fun.
I love it. What was it like being like the old guy on the festival scene? Because all these guys, like, they're all jacked and handsome as shit.
It was all right, mate. You know what it's like. It was one of them things you just sort of play the role a little bit, and it was good crack. Use your experience, didn't you?
Sorry, yeah. Next question. The Invicta season come to an end. Obviously, you're down in the Hornets level now. First of all, what did you make of the league giving Streatham the title after that last weekend?
Well, I don't think there's any. It was never gonna win it anyway, weren't they? So it was good. I think it was good.
Mac, what else you got for him?
Good show.
Nothing. I was just saying, how long do you see yourself going on now? Do you see yourself playing on for many more?
Well, at least 45.
It's a long question. It's a tough question to ask. You just got to sort of take it every year and see how you feel, right?
I think that with yourself and
that's a 40
I think
special.
with yourself and Saunders, though. I think with yourself and Saunders, if you're going to go forward and you're going to build something and make the Hornets a stepping stone and a key development piece, then you're going to need to hang about for a bit longer, even if it's just going to be a sort of playing on a bit. You got to owe your experience to the youngsters going through.
Like I wanna hang about a bit and still play. Like I feel like I still can add value to it. You know what I mean? Like when I stop adding value, then I'll knock it on the head. But at the moment, I feel I still add value, especially to the team. So let's go from there, man.
We normally kind of like round these last 10, 15 minutes out with just some basic questions, but it's not a basic interview, so we're going to ask some different ones. I want to know what chat-up lines you've used in the past.
Dolphin trainer. Rock
I
climber.
don't use chat lines, man.
Chelsea football apprentice.
Oi, fucking.
Come on, give me some of your best ones, Foord. They might not be chat-up lines, but let's.
Dolphin trainer. That's the
Dolphin
best one.
trainer is underwater specialist.
I'll tell you a funny story. When I was really younger, me and Dom Hopkins went out.
Oh, big Dommy.
I remember we were saying we were football players for Watford, right? So I remember saying to someone, I'm like, yeah, that's Danny Page. And my name's Tommy Mooney. But everyone was calling me Fordy. Didn't go down too well. Didn't work out too well for me that night.
Have you ever asked a girl if they know who you are?
Yeah, of course he has.
Come on, tell me some stories. Have you ever gave it the "Do you know who I am"?
I don't think I have. I might have done though, but
yeah.
Sorry, just going to go off kilter and throw it way back. Do you remember the team night out at the Works in Kingston, where we all went out as Slough as a team with Greener, Tell, Tawalski, and 19 of Greener's fucking mates came with us.
Do you know what? I wasn't there then.
Yes, you was. Do you know why? Because this is where the story goes. Out of everybody, the guy started on Terry Miles on the dance floor, and it spilled outside. And bearing in mind of all the meatheads we had on that night out and on that locker room, the two guys out the front that were fighting was Terry Miles and Matty Tawalski. And then me and you started arguing, and you know, like the scene in Friends where Joey rips Ross's pocket straight off. You went like this on my dress shirt, and you pulled it from the pocket.
Yeah, you know what?
Pulled
You're
it
right.
from the
You're
pocket,
right, I did.
and you just like ripped my shirt clean off. The police turn up, and they start grilling us, and they're like, "You guys, why are you both walking together? You should be separating after the club." And we're like, "We're friends, and we left the club together." I just
yeah, I do remember that. Fuck me, how do you remember that?
I sprung to my mind, mate. And I remember getting prank phone calls from like, do you remember the old school prank phone calls you used to get on Nokia 5110s? It's like, "Hi, I'm Sally. You gave me your number at the Works, but you could text them to other guys." The boys used to do me.
Remember we got Doma with that?
Oh yeah, I remember getting like 3 or 4 fucking messages.
I remember someone told me once, they're like, "Oh man, you should text someone pretending like as if." So I'm like, "Oh, so pretending you like have got the wrong number." I'm like, "Oh my god, that's a great wind up." So I remember texting Doma like, "Hey, you alright? I'm going out for a meal tonight, blah blah blah." And Doma texts back like, "Sorry, I think you got the wrong number." And she's like, "Oh, who are you?" It's me, right? So I'm like, "Oh, who are you?" So anyway, this goes on, and we stung Doma up a treat with that one. Well, we made out like I was a bird, and it was a good crack. But
this is a story that I've wanted someone to tell on the podcast, but nobody's bothered so far. But I think it's going to sound perfect coming from you. I think my brother probably knows this story as well. Talk to me about Freddie the Fish.
oh no, mate, you can't tell that story.
No? Okay, well, we'll bypass that one then. We'll bypass that.
Bypass Freddie the Fish.
Okay,
Freddie the Fish. Yeah. See ya.
Yeah, it kind of tells you everything you need to know if we're bypassing that. So, guys, by the way, on this podcast, it's all a bit different. And if you are still watching, do please remember why we're actually doing this one live, why we're doing it on Facebook and not just as a regular episode. We want to give these NHS nurses a little fucking drink at the end of this. We've had a few donations since we've been on, but we've had hundreds of people watching over the last couple of hours. So, guys, even if it's fucking £2.50, a fiver, the cost of a pint, 12 quid, the cost of what it would have cost you to go watch your local team tonight. Chuck it in the mix. Let's get these nurses. Something nice. I've been asked to ask you about Monday Heaven with the young guys, Tell and Tawalski. You can guess who that came from.
Yeah, that was a messy one. So we end up in, I don't know, we end up in Maple Leaf or something like that. So the only place open at that time was Heaven nightclub. So we end up going to Heaven, right? So me and Bix wheel in. There was Tawalski and Tell in there. Me and Bix wheel in. Somehow we end up stood at the bar, and I end up talking to that Brian Downing. Do you remember him, Jamie?
Yep.
He won like Big Brother or something like that. Brian Downing.
Your mate Brian.
So at the time he was, so he was huge, mate. At the time he was huge. So I'm like, oh, Brian, let's go. I'm like, let me go out with you, walk out with you, and see if we can get in like OK magazine or something.
Residual kill.
we end up walking out like arm in arm to fucking. I'm like, the press are gonna get this for sure. Didn't even think like it was gonna happen. Like I'm like, man, if this happens, I'm in trouble. They're like, this is bad. I'm like, yeah, let's go out here. No press picked it up, but still pretty good story.
There's been a story. Actually, no, I'm not gonna push it. I've got to ask you where a quote comes from. Give the brother a helmet.
All right, who told you that? Dan Green. It's Dan Green or Mizey?
Well, it's not Dan Green because I don't talk to him. So figure it out. I'll leave that up to you to figure that out.
No, you can't tell that story.
Okay, well, maybe you can tell this story. Talk to me about spending the summer painting and decorating Zoran's house.
Oi, mate, that was funny. That was good times.
That's not fucking...
Z paid us to paint and decorate his house. And as you can imagine, there's me, who was it? Me, Bix, Tell. We're decorating Zoran's house. And not much decorating went on. We may have fallen asleep painting the skirting boards. That may have happened. We may have painted the dog.
You did?
That might have happened.
Go back to that. We're not glossing over that story for shit.
Literally.
Yeah, Z had a ridge back.
Dad joke.
I may have just laid the roller out for him to walk under. I may or may not have done that.
Ryan, obviously you played with Foordy for a while. Is there anything that springs to mind that we haven't talked about on here yet? And I know from that little gimp fucking smile that you've got that's a yes. So come on, let's go.
I don't know. I don't know what we can talk about.
Nothing you can say on it.
The thing is, if
either him or someone else took a shit in his bedroom, or no.
Yeah, let's do that.
No? On Cornerways. That team house. We woke up and there was a shit on the bedroom floor. And
Tomo already told it. Tomo already told this story, so you might as well.
Well, the time I took a shit in my room.
Yeah.
Well, I must have took a piss as well, because you don't take a shit without taking a piss, do you?
Contrary to belief, because I see Wiggy take a shit on the dance floor.
Yeah,
and he didn't have a piss. It was amazing. I've never.
Not a chance, mate. You can't do it. It's impossible.
I fucking witnessed it, mate. I witnessed it. You don't forget a 6'6" man curling a shit out on a 3'5" dance floor when there's fucking 300 people in the bar. Like, you don't forget that.
40. How many times did you park
play to him?
Convertible McGann in the back garden at Cornerways to hide it?
Yeah,
remember that
few times. That's been told
before.
before.
McGann used to drive it down the side and hide it so no one could see that you were home.
Is that the same Silver McGann when Brad has his like Oh yeah, I borrowed it and someone crashed into it, and his mate sold him down the river.
I don't know. I know you had a silver McGann. You used to fucking park it in the back garden so no one would know you were home.
Oh, so
Yeah, I
much
did
fun.
do
And
that.
that no one has a name as well. It's just
Yeah,
hide the car from her.
Yeah, well, let's not dive down that one. We're going to drop in my.
I'm sorry.
I wanted to talk to you about Callum Best. What was it like playing with Bestie?
Mate, I love him. I love him to pieces.
Have you got any good Bestie stories? Anything that like triggers?
Do you know what? Nothing really. Like nothing bad. Like I know you always talk about him on the podcast. I love Bestie to pieces.
Oh, we all do. We all love him.
I do as well. I do, but he won't.
No.
Come on. He won't play ball.
Bestie loves to use.
Oh, really?
I haven't got any Bestie stories that I can even say on the pod. Really.
I got a Bestie story.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then let's do it.
So I don't know what the year was, but I was still at Bracknell.
Oh, by the way, Wiggy just messaged me loads of laughing faces.
Greener might have told it. I'm not sure. I was at Bracknell, but I ended up going to Slough, and Bestie was at Slough, and I ended up going to Bracknell. But anyway, it was his first training session.
I was there.
He's the last one kitted up, and he runs on the ice, and the Slough boys took the steel out of his skates. But he's so dumb, he done his skates up and didn't realise that he didn't have any blades on. So all the boys were on the ice waiting for him to come on, and he runs on a couple hard strides, and the Slough boys took his steels. But the Slough boys drove from Slough after training to Bracknell at 11 o'clock on a Thursday night to sit in the stands and watch him run on for his first fucking practice. No steel.
We've told that story on the podcast before, but
every
time.
Story, though.
But Fordy, like obviously at this point, I'm kind of a semi-veteran on that roster. So's Tell, so's like Seski and all that, and we're watching him, and we've spotted like straight away. We've watched him trying to tie his skates up, and it's like he's walking around a room.
How do you not know?
He's taping his sticks, like he's just like doing normal shit. I'm like, this kid doesn't know he doesn't have any fucking steels in his skates. Oh, it was the funniest thing. I just wanted to talk to you about one of your other former teammates. We are running massively long on time here, but the content's great. The unsung hero.
Hey, mate, we got to shut it up soon because my bird wants to come downstairs.
Fordy's fucking someone paying for his data.
What was it? Talk to me about the importance of a guy like James Galazzi. He's understated. He's tough as fuck. He fights everybody. He's done a role. He's now carved out his testimonial year. Talk to me about playing with a guy like Gaza.
Hey, mate, he's awesome. Such a good guy to play for. Would work super hard. would work super hard. Would be there and do everything he can for the team. Would do anything. Like honestly, like what a guy he would be. Grumpy as fuck.
20 years ago,
grumpy as fuck. But boy, would he be worth his value for the team? You know, like he would do everything he can. He would be a solid. He would play solid two-way centerman. He would fight anybody. Like he's a guy I would sign in a heartbeat if I was a coach.
I'll chime in there as well and second that.
Yeah,
he knows he knows what he brings to a team. He's a good guy. He took 50 losses to get his win, but now he's tough. Like
it's true though. I'd
have him in my team every day.
Oh, he's a gamer, mate. He'll fight anyone.
Yeah, he's got a good Schnabel story where he didn't know who Schnabel was until he bust his head open.
Let's not brush off over the fact, though, Fordy. We've made light of it and we've got the stories from you, but it's no mean feat to reach 1,000 games like you have this season. Did you ever think when you started playing hockey that you'd achieve that feat, and what was it like getting that sort of presentation?
Not a chance, mate. Not even a chance. I didn't think I'd ever make that sort of impact, I guess. I don't know. Like I play, it's 1,000 league games, so it's like I played I don't know, 80 something playoff games as well. So
Yeah,
it's,
not that
it's
anyone's
crazy,
counting.
man. Like,
No, but plus
it's a
when
crazy number, mate. I'm telling you.
not only
It
that,
is.
in those early EPL days, we had the knockout cup, the August cup, the thanks for fucking coming cup, where they had us in there playing on like Wednesday nights against Invicta, who were in the league below. I remember. Was you?
Oh, mate,
let me
I
ask you
played
this
that
question.
Hey, hey.
Wait,
We won the NIHL Cup this year against Invicta and Haringey.
There was only 3 teams in that cup. Let's talk about
Sick
that.
cup.
Have you ever played in for a trophy before when there was only 3 teams in the competition and one of them was from the league below?
One of the teams from the league below.
Oh man.
Sick.
While we've got
Double. We got the double.
While we've got you boys,
Double. Tim Hortons.
while we've got you boys on here, and obviously you boys have both played at all the standards throughout the EPL. You then played in the first go round of the NIHL 1. What's it like playing in that league now? And whoever's got their phone on, can you stop it?
That'll be fucking Ryan, obviously.
Ryan, turn your phone off, you bellend.
This is my phone here.
Well, turn whatever other phone on. Is it you?
Look, I'm watching
My
us
mum
here
and
on
dad
my phone.
calling me.
I'm
This is
sorry.
it.
By the way,
It's for
if anybody that is watching knows Fordy's mum and dad, you would have seen them around the rinks for years. Let's talk about the support they've given you, because I don't think
What a fuck. What a fuck.
and Fordy's mum's a coup. But
Forward.
but let's talk about them, because mate, I don't think I ever seen them miss a game.
No,
Mate, I love it. My old man, do you know the first place my old man took my mum was to a hockey game. That was the first date they went on. So
they've been there for you every single step of the way. Even now, they're
mate,
still
the
dragging themselves out to
unbelievable.
come and fucking watch you play. Still, it's amazing,
mate,
man.
the support's unbelievable, and he loves hockey. And I speak to my old man all the time, and he's always, you can do one more year, you can do one more year. He's been saying this for 5 years now, so he'll probably keep going till fucking God knows when. But yeah, it's the support I get is fucking unbelievable. But
excuse me, right? A lot of the
there's not a lot
story
you can say about it, but thank you, and I appreciate it, and they love it as well. So
a lot of the stories we've told tonight have come from way back. You do now have kids. Any sort of idea that maybe the kids go into hockey, or is that something that you would like them to do? And how do you find like being a dad and juggling, still try to get down the rink?
Do you know what? It's difficult in a way that, see, so I've got my son and my daughter, Darcy and Ava, they live with their mum in Swindon. And I've got Harley here with me, who Harley's just over a year old. So it's one of them situations. It is a bit of a juggling act, but Darcy and Ava love it. They love the hockey. They love coming to the hockey, and it's good. They enjoy it. I don't think they'll get into it. I think Ava wants to play. Darcy's not interested. He's quite a creative person. He likes sort of design and that sort of thing. But Aves loves it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And Harley she's just learned how to walk. So
yeah, give her a chance.
She got to make a decision at the moment. So we'll see what happens.
Right, Fordy, before we wrap up, our usual mumbo jumbo. Let's go. Toughest player either played with or against. Funniest guy in the locker room. Biggest beauty in the locker room. And your I always say favourite teammate, but it's so fucking hard. You can give me 5 if you want. It's
mate, it's impossible.
So let's start with toughest. Kenzie?
Toughest would be Kenzie, Cornish, Paps. Kenzie, Cornish, Paps.
Oh, quickly, what about Norman Pennington? And also, can you, because we wouldn't normally get to do this, and you can kind of see my little segue there into this, can you please show us the Norm dance from Pantiles?
Nah, mate, there's no way. It's not big enough. I tell you what, right? The screen's not big enough. But if you see me in a rink and you want to ask me that Norm dance, I'll happily do it for you.
Oh,
but
I just thought of something else, and it just came back to me. A 19-year-old Nicky Watt. what you can do, and the screen is big enough. Mate, I still use this to this day. I still teach the kids this one to this day, and it all came from you. Can you show me the shoulder dance?
Oh, nah, mate.
Come on, show me the fucking... I'll do it with
The
you.
shoulder.
I'll do it.
Do you know who got me this? Do you know who gave me the shoulder?
I still do it.
Do you know who gave me the shoulder dance?
God, who was it?
Dennis Maxwell.
Yeah, he's tough as shit. No one's coming up to him in the bar and saying,
Dennis
dude, can you
Maxwell
stop
gave me
doing
that
that dance? Right, yeah, sorry, we got off track as we do on 4,000 and counting.
So go on, funniest teammate.
Funniest, yeah.
Mate, so many. Heafy's got to be up there. Bit.
Yep.
Hog. Scott Spearing.
Yeah, by the way, how undercover funny is Hog? He doesn't get talked about enough for being funny because Hog is a funny bastard.
Oh, mate,
Funny
he's hilarious. He's my best mate, one of my best mates.
Yeah, great guy.
Everybody gives him so much shit on the forums, all over social media, that he's this, he's that. But
They don't
anybody
know
that
him,
actually
Mac.
knows him, actually knows the person. That's what I mean.
I played
you
with
know
him
what,
since
though?
I
He
was
doesn't
14.
care.
Every game against him, I wanted to fight him. Every game with him, I would fight anyone that came near him.
Exactly.
Great guy. Love him to bits.
You know what he's like. You know what he's like. He don't care. He doesn't care what people think about him. He doesn't care what people say about
what
him.
about when Mo wanted Hog? So Hog's got like his own singing voice, and Mo wanted Hog to sing the national anthem in Basingstoke, but
In
his
his
voice
rock
is like
voice.
Metallica. Go save the
Where to sing in his rock voice. Oh, mate, he made Dougie play the electric guitar, so...
Go on then. So obviously we're talking the funniest guys. I believe we've done the tough...
Heafy, Rolls, Moods, Bix, Mizey, Hog. Like I could go on for days. Greener. Like all these boys are fucking
What about Tell? Was you ever privy to any of Tell's like impressions and stuff like that? How funny were they?
Oh, mate, so Tell started coming into the team when me and Bix and that were. So me and Bix used to knock around with Tell and Tuwalski and that. So I've got so many Tell stories. There's too many to mention, but what a geezer he was! Like what a guy, you know what I mean? Like unbelievable person, just an awesome person, you know.
It's that leaves us with the biggest beauty and your favourite teammate.
It's so hard, mate. There's no way I can give one.
It's the hardest question. It's the hardest question we ask anybody.
You look at the guys. You got yourself, Ryan. You got Glocks.
Glocks. Oh, I can't believe we didn't even
Mark
get
Longer,
to that guy.
Mark Long. You know,
Mark Long actually messaged me today and said, "I'm so pumped you have Foordy on. He is such a beauty."
Mate, Longer's one of my best mates. Like I played with him so long. He worked with me.
How good is he, by the way? Can we just explain to people how fucking good he was?
Oh my god, what a player! Like NHL hands, like unbelievable hands. He just, yeah. What a great player, but what a great geezer though as well. And his family are amazing too. Like great laugh.
And
but you got Glocks. So you
guys,
look at Glocks, Mizey, Bix, Screener. There's so many, mate. You can't pick one person out to say my favourite teammate. You know.
What about your?
What the hell are you doing, bud?
Fuck knows.
Who, me?
Ryan's on for a walkabout.
He's doing his monthly exercise. This is his training program. This is his training program for September. He's walked up and down the stairs twice. He's good to go for the fucking NIHL South title back to back. Yeah, 40. It has been an absolute pleasure. It's been live. It has been on Facebook. It's been the first one. And I've had so many messages since I've been on here saying that this is the funniest one yet. This is the best one yet. I'm so glad I tuned in. This is gold.
Mate, we'll do it again and we'll raise some more money because it's always a good cause. So whatever we can do to help, right?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
For sure.
Mac, do you have anything else for 40 before we let him bounce out of here?
Nothing, mate. It's been a fucking pleasure, mate. It's good finally getting to talk to you. These two have spoke about you umpteen times, and everybody that we spoke about is always a Fordy story, so it's good to get it from the horse's mouth.
It's good, mate.
Wait then. Speaking of horses'
There was no
mouth.
fucking pun intended there.
No, but you just remembered me.
Wait, what's with the long face?
Why the long face? Fordy, talk to me about the boys putting sugar cubes in your gloves every week.
Wait, that was Heafy. That was Heafy and Miles.
I can believe that. I can believe that.
Not the first sign.
So Fordy first signs for
Fucking
Slough because he looks like a horse. Every time he went to put his gear on, the boys have hid fucking cubes of sugar.
Sugar cubes.
Gloves.
Done me for years.
Heafy's a bastard.
I've got him back though.
Heafy's a
I've got
bastard.
him back in the end.
How did you get him back, Fordy? Fuck it, you're still here. I know we're
Nah, that'll be for the next one. We'll save that for the next podcast.
I reckon we've done about 3.5% of your stories here, mate. So,
Hey, mate.
go on,
All
sorry.
I know is my bird's banging on the floor upstairs. So let's
Right, guys, everybody that's tuned in on Facebook Live, everybody that's shared, everybody that's donated, everybody that's really got behind this. It was very short notice on the fact that we were going live. So we appreciate you all tuning in. We love the fact that we now know how to work technology. So virtual high five to me and Mac for not being fucking dinosaurs. Virtual high five to the boys for being legends and jumping on. And we really, really do hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget, share this around. Like us on social media, follow us on Facebook. As we've said on our post this week, we've had Cam Jansen, we've had Jason Hewitt, we've had Andy McKinney, we've had Todd Fedoric, we've had Liam Kirk. We've now gone live to you with Facebook. We are really going all in on this lockdown to keep you guys entertained while there's no hockey. We will keep striving to give you guys funny interviews. I mean, obviously, Fordy just came on, smashed an interview out of the park, over 2 hours. Do not forget, if you head over to www.patreon.com/4000 and counting, you can chip in $5, $10, $15, whatever it may be. Help this podcast, help us survive. Me and Bandy now don't have a job, and they're even contemplating fucking standing Mac and the Army boys down like a few days, and the RAF and Army and the other forces down a few days. So if you do like our content and you do want it to continue and you do want us to keep being able to do stuff like this costs money. It's coming out of our own pocket. To fund on SoundCloud, we have to pay for that. To fund on Zoom, to be able to do this, we have to pay for that. So if you do listen, guys, it's not much. You're not paying for any hockey tickets right now. Chuck a little $5 in the pot, help us grow. Chuck a $5 in the GoFundMe. Share it, because sharing the GoFundMe is the way to spread it. And from me, it's peace out, and from Mac.
Ciao, Fordy. Thanks for coming on, mate. It's been an absolute fucking pleasure.
All right, cheers, mate. I appreciate it, pal. Thank
Fordy,
you.
superstar, mate. You may hang up. Ryan, thanks for not having earphones, for walking up and down the stairs, making drinks, chatting to Megan,
Hello.
just being loud as shit. But boys, we shall let you go. So good night.
Cheers, brother.
Hang up, boys. That's it. It's cool.
You off?
Stop live screen. We should still. Is that still recording? Yeah, we're still.
It's recording. We're not live. That's fine.
Yeah, we're not live. Fordy, just hold tight for 2 seconds.
Oh, was that all right?
Wait there. Yeah, mate.
Hold tight. Mate. Yeah, brilliant.
Mac, 1 sec. Fordy, just hold tight for 2 seconds. This will take 1 minute. Right, Mac, we just did our first ever live. It's obviously out on Spotify. That's where you're now listening to it. We are gutted that you couldn't be there to see it live, see the video, see the interaction. But I'm sure you agree, even on Spotify, the stories came across fucking brilliant. Who knows? Maybe we'll even upload this to our new YouTube account. So while you're there, head over to YouTube at 4000 and counting. Subscribe to our channel. We might start releasing our little videos on there to get up with the times, but Matt, how did you find the Matt Foord interview, Mac? It was so much fun for me.
So from when we started, mate, people have been asking for Fordy to come on. Everybody's in the Fordy story. Everybody's always said he's the next one that wants to come on. But if there was somebody that was actually moulded to be put on for a live interview, to be fed stories, to feed the stories himself and giving them firsthand, it was him. It was unbelievable.
Well, some of the comments in the section throughout the podcast, and this one stood out to me. And hey, if any of you rich fuckers want to make this happen, I'm sure we could all do something during lockdown. They said this should become a sitcom. And hey, I'm pretty sure that I've got 1 hour out of every week of the rest of my life to listen to Matt Foord stories. So if you guys want to pay to make that happen, then who are we to stop you? I'm sure Mac would echo that, and I'm sorry that Bandy had to drop out the interview early on. We had some technical issues. He had a prior drinking engagement, even though he is locked in his own apartment. So feel free to @AliBand24 on Twitter, get up on his shit, chirp him, because me and Mac are going to be chirping him. But guys, that's another episode of 4,000 and counting in the bank. We've loved it. Hopefully you've loved it. From myself, peace out.
Ciao.